This is the Talking Sports podcast with Peter DiBiasi and John Rocco Trumpbour. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, and Antonio Williams, running back for the Buffalo Bills. Antonio played his college ball at Ohio State and North Carolina. Antonio went undrafted in the 2020 NFL draft, but was signed by the Buffalo Bills, my favorite team, immediately and spent his rookie year with them. Antonio appeared in one game, rushing for 63 yards and rushing for 2 touchdowns against the Miami Dolphins in the final regular season game. Antonio, it's a pleasure to have you on, and we really appreciate you joining us today.
Absolutely, man. Glad to be on. Glad you guys invited me. I'm excited.
And please don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Links in the description. And drop a like, comment. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, as well as our Twitter, Instagram, also Antonio's Instagram and Twitter will also be in the description. So drop him a follow, support. If you're a Buffalo Bills fan, go support him. If you're an NFL fan, go support him. Okay, Antonio, we're going to dive into some questions right now. Okay, first question. What motivated you to transfer from Ohio State to UNC? And was it the fact that you're from North Carolina, or was it bigger than that?
Yeah, definitely. So I was at Ohio State. I played good bit my sophomore year. So my last year at Ohio State. And my mom and dad were actually going through a pretty bad divorce. And also my grandparents' health was declining a bit. So I wanted to get back close to home. And obviously, I'm from North Carolina. Getting back in North Carolina, that was something that was big for me. So I played into it. But, I was extremely happy to finish my career at UNC.
And was there any particular coaches at UNC or anybody that kind of attracted you to them? Because I'm assuming they recruited you out of high school, but obviously you chose the Ohio State path. But was there anybody that was connected to UNC coaching wise? Yeah,
so Larry Fedora, he was the head coach at the time, no longer there, but he was first coach to offer me as a college, and he kind of held a special place in my heart. So I knew if anything did happen and I ended up leaving Ohio State, I'd probably end up at North Carolina. And then the running backs coach, he just took the job at Alabama, actually, Robert Gillespie. He was a great coach to have at UNC, and he had a big influence on me coming back home as well.
And that's awesome. I'm a Virginia Tech fan, so I'm not a huge UNC Tar Heel fan, but hey, what they're doing right now is pretty cool.
Absolutely. I'm happy to see the program going in the right direction for sure.
And then going more into the NFL route, how was the preparation leading into the draft? And was there any specific team that stood out to you in pre-draft interviews? How was that whole process?
Yeah, it was fun, man. And unfortunately, I didn't get to experience the entire thing due to COVID. So I don't really know exactly how the process truly is, but I had a great process. I trained down in Atlanta at Chip Smith Performance. I had a really, really good pro day, and I think it answered a lot of questions that some teams had about me. But I talked to a good bit of teams, specifically the Bills and the Giants. Talked to the Chargers, the Bears, the Saints, the Dolphins. So I had a good amount of choices to choose from once I went undrafted and was able to decide on a team I wanted to go to. So, I was definitely lucky to have those options for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Obviously, unfortunately, you were undrafted, which happens to a lot of people, and that's the process of the NFL. But what was that experience like for you, not knowing that you weren't drafted, and then what teams did you talk to before signing with the Bills after you went undrafted?
Yeah, it was I was I expected to go undrafted. Me and my agent had talked, and that was kind of what we kind of knew would happen. But we knew that I'd have some spots I would possibly land at, and once the draft concluded, it was the Bills and the Giants. They were really the last two teams that I kind of broke it down, and I was like, these might be my best landing spots. And obviously, I chose the Bills, and couldn't be happier, man. I'm extremely happy to be a Buffalo Bill, and I'm excited for what's in the future for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you said you expected to go undrafted. Did you just hear that from teams, or did you just get that feeling?
Yeah, kind of both. And I feel like if I would have left my junior year, I would have definitely got drafted. But I ended up having an Achilles issue my senior year where I wasn't able to play as much. I didn't tear my Achilles or anything, just had some really bad tendonitis. But I wasn't able to play as much, so I know my draft stock went down a bit. But yeah, we kind of expected it from that.
And so we all know the NFL is a business. So how did you stay motivated after being cut and keep your head up and your goal of playing in the NFL?
Yeah, you just never forget why you're doing what you're doing, man. And it's easy to give up. It's easy to say, I tried. But, when do you say, when is you tried enough? When do you know to stop? So for me, I knew I had a lot left in the tank. I know that I still have a lot left in the tank. So I wasn't ready to hang it up yet. I kept my head down and just kept working, man. And, things worked out. I signed a futures deal for the next 2 years and all that. So, hoping to make a big splash and help the team as much as I can this next season.
Yeah.
Kind of going off that, did you have, like, after you got cut by the Bills the first time, did you talk to anybody, any other teams besides the Bills, or like did they tell you that they were going to sign you eventually? Just at this point, it wasn't right for you.
Yeah, no, I definitely spoke to some other teams, but in my heart, I really and truly felt like Buffalo was the spot for me. I waited it out and had the opportunity to come back to Buffalo, and definitely think it paid out in the long run.
This is kind of more from like the college to pro aspect. What did you feel was like the biggest transition from college football to the NFL?
The self maintenance, I'd say, because in the NFL, it's you're a professional. You got to be a professional. You got to know how to take care of your body. It's not demanded upon by the coaches like in college. Everything's not mandatory. What you do for yourself is how successful you're going to be in the NFL. You see guys that are extremely successful and they live in the training room. They're always taking care of their body. They're always eating right. So that's the biggest thing, man, because in college you can get away with it a little more. But here, everybody's elite. Everybody's good. And you got to do something to separate yourself. And those guys that take care of their body the best, I believe they're the ones that separate themselves.
And was there like a specific wake-up moment, like in the locker room, on the team, in the games, like a moment that you're like, okay, now I'm officially in the NFL. Like you didn't expect this, but it hit you right in the head?
I wouldn't say so, man. That's the weird part that I was kind of waiting for. I've worked for it since I think I decided in about 6th or 7th grade that my goal was to make it to the NFL. And, for me to make it there, I was like, all right, now it's time to really work. So, I got there and now I'm just working, man, to be the best version of Antonio Williams that possibly is. Hopefully that's the next elite running back in this level.
Yeah, that's a goal that JR and I never ever come close to, or maybe when we were little we had a chance, but at this point, both being sophomores in college and just looking at us, it's just not going to happen at this point.
Yeah. And then like coming into Buffalo as a rookie, like in the locker room, was there like a specific teammate that really like impacted you and like really became like your mentor in the locker room on the Bills or even around the league?
The Bills are built so well with the right vets and the right. I wouldn't even call them vets yet. The 2-3 year players. And they're just so, everybody's just so, they want to see the team be successful and they do whatever needs to be done in order to help that out. So everybody kind of has a hand in what you got to do, and they'll teach you the ropes if you ask. And I wouldn't say there was one specific player, but as a team entirely, it's just really good, a great organization, honestly, to learn from.
And like, how was like the running back group with like Devin Singletary and like Zach Moss? Do you have like a good chemistry with them?
Yeah, those are my dudes, man. I'm ready to get back to Buffalo and see them and get back to work with them. And honestly, I'm super excited for what's coming for us, man, because I think our running game wasn't what it should have been this last year, but I definitely think we have the potential and we have the guys that can get it done.
Yeah, being a Bills fan, watching obviously every game, the playoff games, our running game wasn't what people wanted. Obviously, there's been a lot of critics about our running game from like the national media, a lot of Bills fans that maybe think we need more running backs, different type of running backs. But I like Zach Moss, I like Devin Singletary, and obviously watching you was fun, that Dolphins game. But talking about that Dolphins game, what was going through your head as you finally got your first NFL opportunity against the Dolphins, and how did you prepare for that game?
I prepare every practice like it's a game because you never know when you get that shot. So for me, it was go out there and just do what I do. And I just kept reminding myself that, it's football. You've been doing this your whole life. You're at the level you want to be at. Go have fun. Go be powerful. Go be explosive. Go be everything that you are in a running back. And show everybody who you are. Show the world Antonio Williams. And that was my goal. And the biggest thing also was to make sure that we secured that win, man. I know we were up by a good bit, but still want to go out there. It's the NFL. Anything can happen, man. So just make sure we go out there, secure that win, do what I can, and put my mark on that game. And I definitely think I was able to do that.
Yeah, put your mark. You got 2 touchdowns, man. That was a fun game just because we blew out the Dolphins, who Jared doesn't like, I don't like, but you scored 2 touchdowns.
Mhm.
How was it? How did it feel to score obviously your first professional touchdown and then you added another one?
Yeah, it was great, man, and I still got the ball and everything, obviously. But it was huge. I know all my family was able to watch on TV and they saw everything, and it felt good, man. But definitely don't want those to be the last two. I think we're gonna have a lot more, so we're gonna keep working for it.
A funny thing is my dad, who was watching the game with me, he was not a Bills fan, didn't know who you were. Obviously, I knew who you were. And he was like, "Who's this guy? This guy's running great. He's like the best running back I've seen in a couple of weeks." So yeah, you looked like for sure starter. And I know after that game, people on Twitter, Bills fans on Twitter, were like, "Man, we got to get Antonio Williams in the starting lineup." And I agree, man. You looked like a difference maker. This is also a fun question about like celebrations. Do you guys ever like practice your celebrations like before the game, like you get anything going?
So some guys, but not most. Like I don't really have a celebration, man. I'm a get in the end zone. That's my job, and I kind of keep it going. But a lot of guys like Diggs. I know Diggs has so many celebrations, man. I love him, but now I think Diggs probably has them planned out. He doesn't really tell anybody. He just kind of does it. But some guys have them planned, other guys don't, and I think it's just depending on how they feel they're gonna do in the game. You think you go score? I'd plan something out, you know.
Yeah, watching Stefan Diggs play, you kind of feel like he's the type of guy to have to celebrate. You got some swag.
Absolutely.
And we all know like Josh Allen took remarkable progress this year, MVP candidate basically. Um, I know he's still young, so like how is he? And you're young, obviously. So how is he as a leader and like a teammate and like throughout the year with the offense?
Yeah, best teammate you can ask for, man. Josh is such a great guy, and when you got a guy with that amount of ability and that skill set, and the organization puts their faith in a guy like that, the leadership just came with it, and he has it, and I think it's just going to continue to grow. And I think even off of the great leadership he had this last season, I think it's when he continues to progress with his leadership, we're going to go as far as Josh takes us. I think at the end of the day, and I think he's going to take us very far, and he just keeps going in the direction he's going. It's going to be exciting in Buffalo, man.
Yeah, he's definitely playing really good football. Was there like any fun stories that come to mind when you first met him or like throughout the year?
I mean, obviously the one where I didn't give him the high five was pretty funny, but he came up to me in the locker room after that, and he was like, "Hey man, you missed me a high five." I was like, "Yeah, dog, I was tired." So trying to go sit down on the bench, but then in practices he walked by me with his hand up and just walked right past me. but no, that's pretty much it. But he's a funny dude, man. I enjoy him as a teammate. I enjoy him as a friend, and great guy all around for sure.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. Watching, like, how does it feel like you watch Josh Allen in practice? Like, we see him in the games, and obviously we've seen his progression from rookie year to his third year. But I feel like watching him in practice, like how easily he throws that ball. Have you, like, how far can he actually throw the ball? Because people like 80, 85 yards. Has he ever
Yeah,
tried just throwing it from the goal line, from the end zone to the other end zone?
no, he's never tried it, but I have seen him launch one about 85 for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
That's insane. I don't think any of us can do it. 85 yards that's a difference
Yeah,
maker.
that's a long ball, man. That's a heck of an arm right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Allen. He's a funny dude on Twitter, on Instagram. His how about the mustache? Josh Allen and the mustache. I feel like you guys would have clowned him just a little for that.
He was definitely getting clowned in the locker room for that. Definitely.
I remember when I think Diggs put that on Instagram,
Yeah,
and
one of them.
that was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Okay, so kind of flipping over to the coaching kind of aspect of the Bills. How have head coach Sean McDermott, who's done a great job with the Bills, and Brian Dabo, who's done even a better job, influenced your career so far?
Yeah, man, they're two great leaders that want to see you do the best you can be the best that you can be. And when I got the word that I was playing that Miami game, Coach McDermott actually wrote me a letter, had it in my locker, and it meant a lot to me, man. I still have it to this day, and just wishing me good luck and basically saying he believed in me. So when a guy like McDermott or your head coach tells you they believe in you, that goes a long way. And that's just one thing that he's done. That's just one thing of how he is as a coach and as a person. And the same thing with Dabo. Dave's is cool, man, and we enjoy playing for Dave. He's so creative. He's offensive genius, I believe, and I think he's going to continue to take us in the right direction as well.
Yeah, like I know as we don't really obviously interact with Trumpbour during we see him press conference, pregame, and then like on the sideline. He seems like a really serious kind of guy, kind of follows his thing. Like, how's he in the locker room? Like, obviously he's probably not serious all the time, but like,
Yeah.
Does he joke around sometimes?
Yeah, he'll joke around here and there, but he's a serious guy. But it's to the point where we're handling business, man, and that's what we're here to do. But he also has that side where it's not too much. He knows when to let off and when to keep it cool and when to be serious. So I think he has a perfect balance of that seriousness and the cool side for sure.
And I'm assuming you guys were pretty happy in the locker room once Brian Dabo did not. I know you wanted him to get a head coaching job. You want to support the guy, but Kobe said he would lock him in his house and not let him leave. I didn't want him to lose Brian Dabo. Obviously, I want to support the guy, but him back for another year is going to really help this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. You give us another year in the offense, continue to grow with it. There's no telling, man. You've seen some big plays this past season. There might be, 10 times more with year 3 or however long Dave's been there. I'm new to it, so.
And I know Pete was going crazy, and like the Bills fans in Buffalo were ecstatic about your run in the playoffs, finally winning a playoff games, going all the way to the AFC Championship, and that happened your rookie year. So like, what was the vibe in the city, and like, how does that like affect your career going to the AFC Championship your rookie year with a solid team? How do you build?
Man, it was like it was exciting, man. And like you said, it was my first year, so I didn't know how the city was before. So I only know the city one way, and that's being successful. And I don't want it to be any other way. So if I have any effect on that, I'm gonna definitely do all I can for Bills Mafia to continue to ride that wave and feel that high from us being a successful team. But we were just excited, man. And we just gonna keep going up. There's one more game we can get to. There's one more win, 2 more wins we could have got to do what all we need to do, and we're working to get those 2 wins this next season for sure.
Yeah, and like, what was the mood in the locker room after that loss to the Chiefs? Like, how was it? Like, did you have to keep your head up? Like, what was the mood like in that locker room after that?
Yeah, it's bittersweet, man. You feel good because you got there, but you also know we could have been further. So it just added hunger, man. We're already a hungry team, so now I think it's a great thing because now we know what we can do, and we don't need to test things out to see if we can do this or do that. We know what kind of team we are. We know what we deserve to be, and that's AFC Championship or higher each year now. So that's the standard, and I think that's what we set this past year.
Yeah, I'm assuming the mood in the locker room wasn't great. Watching the game after the game, I was obviously disappointed.
Absolutely.
That Colts game, you guys almost gave me a heart attack. Thank you for that. You should. I think I sweat through like 2 T-shirts. It was so because I've never seen my team. I was born in 2001, so I've never seen the Bills win a playoff game.
Yeah.
So like I was like the expectations, we got to beat the Colts, and the ups and downs of that game, and the Jordan Poyer fumble. Like like on that play when obviously it was a fumble. You could see it was a fumble. Like I'm assuming on the bench, you guys were going crazy, and then like the Hail Mary, I was like, please don't tell me this is gonna happen again from the Cardinals game. But yeah, the highs and lows of that game kind of. So thank you for you can tell your teammates. Thank you guys for stressing me out through that whole game.
No, man, it's that's the NFL, man. You got to be prepared for those highs and those lows, and just be willing to put your head down and know what you're trying to get to in the fourth quarter, and that's to have, to come out with that victory, man.
Yeah, thank you, Antonio. We really appreciate you coming on. This was probably, I would say, one of our best interviews we've had. Just the interaction between all of us. It was fun. We really appreciate you coming on.
Hey, man, I enjoy being on for sure, and anytime you guys want to catch up in the future, just let me know. We can make it happen.
Oh yeah, of course, man. We'll definitely keep in touch. Jerry, you got any things you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I'm happy to see you're supporting the Yankees because that's me and Pete's team in baseball. So, yeah,
love it, man.
Okay, guys, make sure you guys like and comment and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Antonio Williams' Instagram and Twitter will both be in the description, so drop him a follow on both of those platforms, guys. Until next time. This was the Talking Sports podcast with Peter DiBiasi and John Rocco Trumpbour. Thank you.